Everyone says that the best 2 words in sports is Game 7. And you know what? That's not wrong. Throughout the years, we've seen some insane Game 7s. Some of them go down to the wire, and it's only one shot that can change the outcome of NBA history. And some of them, well, they just end in complete blowouts. But when it comes to the NBA Finals, we have not seen a Game 7 since the 2016 Cavaliers versus Golden State Warriors. And obviously, we all know how that one ended, right? There's no surprise there. But the point is, we are officially getting our first Game 7 in the NBA Finals since that series in 2016. And I have a strong feeling, I know this is going to sound crazy, but this game could be even better. But you know what? That's not the debate that I'm going to be having with you guys right now, because we need to talk about the Game 6 that we just saw tonight. Going into this one, I'd actually already made an entire YouTube video talking about kind of my prediction for the game, because I thought that the OKC Thunder were going to win. I thought it was going to be a very anticlimactic ending to what is and has been an amazing NBA Finals series. And I don't say that because I'm like doubting the Pacers or I didn't think that they could get the job done. But the way everyone was talking about Tyrese Halliburton's injury, his calf situation going on, and his performance that he had in that Game 5, you can't really blame me or anybody else for thinking that this game was cooked. I thought it was over. I thought that the OKC Thunder were going to be lifting that Larry O'Brien inside of the Indiana Pacers arena. And you know what? I knew that some of the Pacers players would be stepping up. I didn't think TJ McConnell was going to do what he did today. I'll be honest right there, and we'll get into that here in a minute. But my God, Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know what the Indiana Pacers staff injected his calf with. I don't know if it's horse tranquilizer. I don't know if it's horse cum. I don't know what is going on. All I know is I was seeing reports around the league saying that if it was any other game, even like a conference finals or regular playoff game, he would not be playing. And that this is an injury that would have kept him out for days, even weeks. But he goes out onto that floor, and my God, it looks like he just went through an entire offseason. It looks like he just got back from vacation, and he is ready to play basketball like no other. This guy was spectacular tonight for the circumstances that he was in, and it's not going to show up in the scoreboard or the stats. I don't care that he only had 14 points, because this entire team was doing everything. Pascal Siakam was having conversations with demons in the locker room before the game, and you know what? He made some kind of deal with them because he was having himself a great game as well. Once again, the numbers aren't really going to show it, but the defensive effort that he made in this game, the scoring, everything that he did was huge. I mean, there's TJ McConnell, Nesmith, Nembhard. I could make an entire YouTube video for every single player on this Pacers team that we saw in this game. That's how good they were. Also, Obi Toppin, like, once again, I can't give everybody enough credit for what they did in this match. I think a huge point of emphasis for what they did in this game was obviously going to be on the defensive end. They forced a ton of turnovers for the OKC Thunder. They didn't let the OKC Thunder play with the pace that they usually play with. They put the OKC Thunder in a lot of positions where it was only SGA that could do the damage. Like, they eliminated every other threat that there was. And, maybe there were opportunities where, SGA could have passed it to someone else, or the, Thunder could have made a game plan around another player like J-Dub or just anybody else. But in my opinion, the Thunder felt a little bit defeated with this Pacers defense and felt like it was only SGA that could get them out of this trap. And you know what? Shout out to Nembhard and every other help defender that came when SGA was driving into the paint or doing anything at all. Their defense was absolutely spectacular. It is a huge reason why they were able to come out into this game and break out with that fast pace that we know that they play with. It was beautiful, but you also have to talk about the three-point shooting. This is something that stresses me out so much with this team. The Indiana Pacers were amazing from three. I think they shot, 15 for 42. They put up a shit ton of attempts, I'll tell you that. And I do want to say, I feel like a decent amount of those came from the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, in the fourth quarter, 5 of those came from the fourth. So 5 threes from their bench, which means throughout this entire, actual game, they only made 3 threes. And in the second quarter, they didn't make a single one, which is where we saw the Indiana Pacers make their huge swing and never really give up the lead from there on out. And this is something that really scares me, because this isn't the first time the OKC Thunder have just been nothing from three. Real quick before I get into this, a lot of that has to do with the Pacers perimeter defense, so shout out to them. But anyways, going back to game 4, the Indiana Pacers had themselves a solid lead in the fourth quarter. They were doing their thing, whatever, and the OKC Thunder somehow came through and won this game 111 to 104. And you know why this win was so mind-blowing to me? It wasn't because it was in Indiana and the OKC Thunder won on the road. Nah, I don't care. It wasn't, Alex Caruso dropped 20 points points, and that's so mind-blowing. I don't care. J-Dub had 27, SGA had 35. Don't care. It happens all the time. You know what the mind-blowing statistic was for me? They shot 3 for 16 from 3. The OKC Thunder in modern-day basketball, modern-day NBA hoops, made 3 3-pointers and won a game in the NBA Finals. And that's with the Indiana Pacers making 11 of them. And so, you know what? Yes, I do look at this game 4 and I say, okay, if the Pacers go on to lose game 7, it is because of game 4. They should be holding up a Larry O'Brien right now. They really should. And I don't mean that to discredit the OKC Thunder or what they did, because you could argue the same exact thing, but for game 1. But the fact that the Pacers blew this game, mind-blowing to me. And it pisses me off because this game should have been the same exact kind of game that we saw in game 4. But this game 6 was just something else. And I can't even help but look at the numbers on this team and look at all the players and what they did and their impact on this game. I mean, this might be one of the most all-around, like, best performances we've seen in the finals from an entire team. Everybody just putting in the work together. It wasn't one guy who did it. It wasn't 2 guys who did it. It was the entire team. And I'm sorry if I just continue to repeat this and say it over and over again, but it is truly mind-boggling that they were able to do something like this under the conditions of Tyrese Halliburton. Back against the wall in your own arena, you have no other choice but for everyone to step up, and that's exactly what they did. Miles Turner, I'm just going to pretend like you don't exist. I'm just going to say it right now, okay? I know I'm saying the entire team did well. Miles Turner, I am closing my eyes. You can go hide in the closet, okay? 1 for 9. What the fuck are we doing, buddy? Anyways, this game has just set me up for, like, the most, I don't even know what to expect in game 7 anymore, because part of me looks at this OKC Thunder team and says, you know what? You were in every single way supposed to win this game. Every single sign in the world, the Tyrese Halliburton injured, whatever, everything is pointing to a OKC Thunder championship in game 6. And it's not like they didn't do it because, they were suffering through something. They were just getting their asses handed to them defensively. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander specifically, 8 turnovers? Are you fucking kidding me? So yeah, part of me looks at game 7 and thinks, like, why can't the Pacers just do this again? And there's been so many moments like that where it's just like the Pacers always come back to respond, and it's like, okay, surely they're going to continue to do this, and then they end up flopping in the next one. So that's where it's like my head is scattered. I don't know what to think. There's also the side of things where it's like, yes, Tyrese is still injured. Just because he had himself a good game today, it doesn't mean that that might not affect him in game 7. Things change so instantly in this series. It's a game of runs. It's just like one after another. Teams are throwing punches back and forth. This has really felt like the first game where it's just full-on blowout. And I think it's because the Pacers never had themselves a lead this big. Like, this was the first time that they kind of had a lead this large. Actually, not kind of. It was literally the first time they had a lead larger than 9 points all series. And so it kind of just felt like, yeah, the Thunder aren't used to this. They're not ready for this kind of moment. So maybe that's what we see in game 7. But that being said, man, it was a crazy one tonight. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I read and respond to everybody. Let me know what you think about game 7. What is your prediction going into that one? Lock your predictions in down below, because once game 7 is over, you can't say that you were right if you didn't confirm your predictions. Now, I can't remember if I said this already, but if you're down in the comments, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button as well, as that does help out the channel a ton. All right, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Later.